Okay, we're done. Undercover Granny, Covert Narcissist. Hey, how's it going today, Kenny?
It's going good now.
Oh,
Granny was something else. She gave the covert in military operations.
so, tell me about your grandma.
Grandma was something special. Let me put this nice so we ain't trying to get no strikes. With Grandma, it was all about her. It's kind of like she got that me syndrome. It's kind of like the victim. Oh, woe is me.
What does she think about people's feelings?
She didn't care about anyone's feelings. She had no empathy. She couldn't put herself in other people's shoes, but she could put herself in her own shoes.
And her own shoes was more like what?
It's about the me. I'm the star of the show.
Maybe she was in her own head.
You mean as a wonderful mind or as a nightmare on Elm Street?
Well, Grandma. Now, whose mother was that?
That was your mom.
You talking about my mom?
Well, in the community, we cannot talk about mom, but we're just doing this to give you education.
Well, as far as the education goes, I'll help you talk about her.
No, in our community.
It's all good, Kitty.
Because in our community, Mom, we didn't have the word covert narcissist.
No, we didn't.
But the phrase that we used was crazy lady or the cat lady.
Well, whenever Grandma walked around, she always had this air about her that she was just really brilliant. Like she had went to Yale or Harvard, and she knew everything.
And like she was holier than thou.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she kind of fixated on her beauty too. She was a good-looking woman. She really was.
She was kind of like a Charlotte Howe, beautiful on the outside, but ugly on the inside.
Yeah.
Well.
Grandma, may she
rest in peace.
Wherever.
Yeah, she is.
She's probably wondering why they're making a video of her today.
Yep.
I thought this was gonna be on other Grandma, but I can take the licks. I cannot, it ain't like I'm gonna be hurt about.
No.
Grandma, cause everything you say, you're right.
You're right.
You are so right. Okay. She couldn't take criticism well either.
No, she didn't. She get kind of frustrated. What I mean by she get frustrated, she kind of do like a childish tantrum. But what I mean by childish tantrum, like a little kid. Like, no, it's about me. I am right and you're wrong.
My greatest highlight of Grandma was she was snuff. It was sweet. As a matter of fact, it was called Sweet Garrett snuff.
Oh.
And when she didn't like the criticisms or you pointing your finger at her and say, well, you smoke, or that person may smoke, and she would chew snuff, and you would try to say, well, Grandma, it's bad either way. She'd give you an eyeful, because what she would do is spit on you.
Literally.
Lovely little lady, yes, she was. But we'll move on.
But the craziest thing about the covert narcissist, when they play the blame game, when they point the finger at you saying it's your fault, don't 3 fingers come back at them because they're the actual source of the problem?
See, that's the point. They don't think they have a problem at all. No, they don't. Because whatever happens, whatever you say, whether it comes back in their head, they are always right. Always.
Kind of like they have a sense of benevolent, but in actuality, the Revelations of 366.
And it was like when you talk, it was an amen factor. You had to always validate her. That was the dependency part, because she would say things like, "Oh, my dress is too long, or it's wrinkled." But it was nothing wrong with the dress. She just did it so somebody could make a comment.
It's the elevator.
Yeah. And then she was sitting there, and that's what she wanted to hear. She wanted to hear people say how pretty she was. There wasn't a wrinkle in her dress. But, it was kind of like she would bait you into
a compliment.
Yeah, that's right. She would actually bait you into a compliment.
And like, even though you give a compliment, it's like you have to give her validation at least 5 times. before she lets you off the hook.
Did you think that she was a little self-absorbed, you know?
A little. You're being nice, Mom. She is very self-absorbed.
See, this is your video, and I don't want to be on the hot seat because I've said before, life is a hot seat.
No, it is a hot seat, but if people knew in our community how our grandma was, they'd be running.
And as a matter of fact, you know, Gail at night made a post, and I put on there, you know, it had to do with, you know, the generation that's coming now was raised by our generation, which was baby boomers and beyond. And so I think what happened at that time is that a lot of the behavior that you see now is an offshoot of the behavior of my mother.
Past generation.
And her
past generation. But here's the thing with the past generations, though. It's like a vicious cycle. It keeps continuing. But when you end the vicious cycle, you ended the cycle.
You know what? For me...
But it's by choice, though. If you want to end the cycle, and you made the choice, you want to end the cycle because the cycle that, like what Gail was talking about, the generation, because it's from the baby boomers to Generation X to now.
Yeah, but they all took drugs and did things, and they don't want to be held accountable for their behavior. But my generation and beyond, what they failed to see is they weren't held accountable. And so the kids, the young people nowadays, have a hard time with their behaviors and their mental health because of past generations. Now they say you can't blame everything on past generations. Right. I get that. But even when a person from our generation steps up, whether they are narcissists or not, you know, and want respect, I don't really feel like they should get that respect. If you didn't live that respect, you don't deserve that respect.
It's kind of like the person who made the criticism but never been in a sporting event. They're on the sideline.
Ooh, and did she have manipulative behavior? Have mercy.
Oh, mercy, mercy me.
Can you tell me something about what she would do, what Grandma would do?
I remember.
And Grandma was named Rosie Lee Ballard.
Mama, don't bring her up like the candy man now.
That's okay, because if somebody want to pull her up, government-wise, and look her name up, oh, I can't wait.
Wait till they find the file.
Because what people don't understand when they're looking for people and they're angry when they pull up those files, they got to live with that person's past for the rest of their life.
And that's a nightmare.
Right, because as a matter of fact, Rosie Lee, my mother, your grandmother, would go and find out things on people.
Oh, she was the FBI, CIA.
Oh my God! And then she'd look up, and she would be really angry because she would say, "I don't see how they got through this and how they." Well, you know what? That person is glad you looked up their past because now you stuck with it. They little Pandora's box. They moved on, and you still. What, talking about what they did.
But you know, in a sense, Mom, Grandma had that movie mentality, I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Oh.
Because when she looks up your past, she like trying to find anything, any smidge of dirt and use it against you. And that's what the narcissist does. They look up stuff and they're like, oh, a little smidge. Oh, they stole a bubble gum out the candy store. Let's use this against them.
Grandma weaponized. She did. Ooh, gaslighting was her weapon of desire. She would fire you up. She'd talk about you so bad, and then be, you know, looking like a little shy, humble little meek person. You know, she was that little person that you walk her across the street, and then you get her to the other side, and she'd be beating you over the head with an umbrella saying, ain't nobody told you to take me to the other side. She was a hot mess. Yes, if anybody want to look up Rosie Lee Ballard, feel free. Because then, once you look her up, then you're stuck with her past.
Would it be in the Illinois archives to look her up?
Yeah, I think they hold records. I don't know how long they keep records, but...
No, I think she's in the Illinois archive.
Yeah.
I could look her up, but I don't want to. I'm good.
I'm good. Like I said, good luck, Charlie.
Yeah.
She had that victim mentality, and back then, everything was black. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. It wasn't. Ooh, she would die in this era because she did not like white people.
Oh no, she said
called them devils.
She called them the white devils.
And everything was somebody else. I made a. As a matter of fact, I made it short and I said, no matter what happens, the world is to blame because my mother and your grandmother would never take responsibility for anything that was wrong. Never. That's not something that she would do.
Oh no.
But she would demand respect.
Oh yes.
She would demand respect. And that's what's so sad today because they say, well, you will get past it if you don't blame your parents. Personally, I don't blame your grandmother, my mother.
No.
But you know what?
But we need to take a look at the behavior, and it's not always bad about going back to the past. It's good to go back to the past, gather information, move forward to break that cycle because history, what it is, we call history, and history does repeat itself.
Well, I think that the thing that I really like is having all this information in a series like Dr. Phil gave his
Fill in the blank.
Fill in the blank. He has a lot of information out there. I think it's Dr. Ramani that's on YouTube that has a lot of information about narcissists.
And Dr. Sam too.
Oh, that's damn Sam. That's the man. I love Sam.
Shout out to Sam.
Shishameen. I love Dr. Sam Vaknin. And he has done an exceptional job. The reason why I like him because his information kind of more applies to the era that I live. And Dr. Amani, I think she's a little bit younger.
No, Amani, she's more of the millennials and Gen Zers.
Yeah, and then so I think Dr. Vaknin is age 62, and Dr. Ramani, she's a little bit younger, but they're both excellent. Everybody, at least we do have a choice,
Right, back then we didn't have the choice. Grandma was like, it's the highway, it's my way or the highway.
Woo, boy. That was a lot, and there was a lot of envy and jealousy. She held on to things for dear life. If you did something to her, and I don't care how long it took.
I don't care. It's 31 years. Mm-hmm. She will remember it.
As a matter of fact, it was a lady, I think her name was, I'll call her Sarah, because I'm not sure. No, it was Sarajini or something like that. And Miss Mildred and Sarajini. I don't know if it was Sarah Jean or Sarajini, but anyway, Sarajini had a problem with her, I think it was with her thyroid.
Oh, she did.
And so she lost a lot of weight. And Grandma was struggling. She was over there. She was a baker. She was an excellent cook. And she had the cornbread-fed butt. Ooh, and that Maytag booty.
Oh.
And
how many cycles?
Oh my God. Preempt the wash. Well, and I don't think she realized, that you could look at Miss Sarah or Sarajini, and you could tell that we didn't know what was going on, but we know that she had dropped a lot of weight.
Dramatically.
So I think that was hypothyroidism or something like that. But it had to do with her. It didn't have anything to do with her exercising, but it was,
And Grandma had a fit.
Yes, she was. And then what was crazy, even after this lady passed on,
she still was talking.
She would not let go. I'm like, the lady's dead. Come on, Granny.
She's been dead for, when I was a little kid, the lady been dead with maybe 15 years, at that time.
I think so. But it was just how she harbored and kept how she just so much resentful, and don't be successful.
Oh no.
You know, you couldn't walk in that house and say something good about somebody.
Oh no.
Cause she would just lose her mind. Ooh.
Because in her mind, if you're successful, you're outtopping her, and narcissists do not like to be outdone.
Who was that said?
Paul Moody.
Who did he talk?
Mama, he talked about Oprah. He said this. He said, "Child, do not outdo Oprah, because Oprah will come back and outdo you."
Oh, I knew it was one of those.
It was Paul Moody.
Yeah, man.
And he was right. And Joan Rivers said, shout out to Oprah. We're not using this against you. This is all for education, that people who about the me factor. And that's why Joan couldn't get along with certain people, because if you're like controlling and manipulative and take control of scenarios and people's emotions, that kind of have narcissistic tendencies.
Wow. Yeah. Well, let's say hypersensitivity.
And Grandma was sensitive.
Mm-hmm. She any type of criticism.
I remember when I was a little kid, Mom, speaking on hypersensitivity. I think she had like a little mole right here.
Yeah.
And she got mad at me because I said, Granny got a spot on her face. Oh, she want to beat the bricks off of me because she was sensitive about that little beauty mark.
Well, that beauty mark, really, I guess I made it the ugly mark, because she had told me, and not to go somewhere, and I got angry. Children get angry, rebel against their parents. And so the only thing at the time, you hadn't came along yet, at the time, it was that mold on her face. And I called it a booger. So that's why you got your butt, because I got my butt.
Oh, so that's why I got mine. That's messed up.
Yeah, but yes, Undercover,
Grandma.
Granny, your grandma, my mom. Woo, this list can go on and on. But you know what? I think we really did good. And we're going to come back for part 2 for Undercover Grandma.
If you could stomach part 1, come back for part 2.
The good thing is they didn't have to live with her.
Oh no! If y'all live with her, you'd be screaming like Paul Moody out in the movie theater.
Well, like I said, I'm just really happy that I can now put to rest and not be angry, because I do, since I have the information, I didn't have it. And if you don't know or have the education behind something, we will judge.
Yeah, because shout out to Dr. Sam Vaknin, because in our community, we thought it was the crazy lady, but we didn't know if it was Covert Narcissist or, oh, this person's a prick. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know prick was the same as a narcissist. There's so much information now that explains everything. I said, okay, we're not going to judge a person. Let's learn about this person and figure out why they are like they are.
Yeah, well, I can't say we ever figured it out.
Nah. That's a science fiction in the making.
We did good. Shout out to Dr. Sam Vaknin, Shushameen, and we've been infected by a COVID narcissist. Granny. Part 2 will be coming soon.